Ah, yeah, great. It must be my excitement. Probably so, yes.
You can scream and shout with all your might.
Or you can scream and shout about me spilling coffee.
Dig in your heels and hold on tight.
Yes, like the moment I tell Randy to hit the record button, I spill coffee.
Either you are wrong or I am right.
I think by now you've already figured out that I am right. Okay. Yeah. No more coffee spilling. I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum. Yes. Alright, folks, we are here. I have my responsibility stick, otherwise known as a cigarette. I have my water, I have my coffee. And I have lots of fun stuff. We have to get this flowing. Yes, this will be another post-election commentary as I wrap up. Oh no! Randy, where are the notes from the Al Franken show? Hold on. Yes, okay. You must have the notes. Sorry about the dead space there. I must have the notes from the Al Franken show. Does anybody out there listen to the Al Franken show? I mean, is he not heinously untalented? My God, he is so boring. So, let me just get this right out of the way. I got one of those. For those of you who remember when fax machines first came out, remember how people started randomly sending faxes to places and they made that illegal? And they said that your fax identifier has to have the phone number it was sent from on it. Well, at work we got one of these faxes that does not have the sending phone number on it. Anyway, this is hilarious. Defend your right to vote. Americans turned out in record numbers at the polls on Tuesday. The Republicans are claiming a commanding victory, but many Americans are still outraged over the war in Iraq. With 4 more years, did America make the right choice electing George W. Bush? Then it's got the big check boxes, yes or no. To vote, simply check your vote above and fax back to us. The results obtained from this poll will be sent directly to congressional leaders. Oh, yeah, see, this is what I get for not reading ahead. Poll commissioned by Great Gain Limited, 450 High Road, Essex, UK. Now, see, now I'm twice as pissed off. No, because, see, I didn't even notice that before. See, okay, here is what was originally pissing me off about this, folks. The phone number you fax this to is 1-900-226-1444. And then very small type under that it says, I have to get out my magnifying glass to read the small type, calls cost $3.95 per minute. A small price to pay for moral values. So these people give a shit about our vote, but it costs you $3.95. So when I first saw this, I thought, the Democrats are at it again. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe this is a evil right-wing capitalist pig making money off of the stupid people who think John Kerry should have won the election. See, it's hard to call. But then, Essex, UK. Here we go again. Those filthy little foreigners trying to stick their nose into our business. You know, when's the last time Americans tried to interfere in an election over in England? Oh, right, that's right. Never. Because nobody in America really gives a shit about England. The only reason that we don't use England to test nuclear weapons is because we have France for that. You know, this just makes me sick. On all these levels. The whining about did America make the right choice, that level makes me sick. The call cost $3.95, that level makes me sick. And the Essex UK part, that makes me sick. The whole fucking thing makes me sick. I'm about to puke in my coffee cup. I am so sick. There, it's just been filed in the garbage can. It's gone bye-bye. Never have to worry about it again. Let's move on. I'm trying to think, what do I want to do next? I have so much here that I want to try to cover. Let's do this. Now, a couple of days ago, I was hitting the internet, and everything I'm about to read to you is old. It's a few days old. Oh, let's start off with some, well, maybe good news. As checking the voting results for my home state of Texas, none of them won, but I did notice that there were Libertarians in most of the races. And so for Texas, for the United States House, District 1, the Libertarian got 1% of the vote. Excuse me. For District 2, a Libertarian got 2%. For District 3, a Libertarian got 6%. For District 4, a Libertarian got 1%. For District 5, a Libertarian got 3%. District 6, Libertarian 1%. District 7, Independent 1%, Libertarian 1%. District 8, Libertarian 1%. There are a lot of ones here. This is not good. But at least in my point here, my point of reading this off to you is that it's a start. It's not a finish. It's not a middle. But I guess it's a start. District 9, 1%. District 10, a whopping 16%, which is interesting because there was no Democrat. The Republican got 84%. The Libertarian got 16%. District 11, 1%. District 12, no Libertarian. District 13, there's only a Libertarian and a Republican. No Democrat. Libertarian got 8%. This is interesting. District 14. Oh, never mind. District 14 is Ron Paul. He got 0%. I'm not sure what. He has no competitors. Not sure what's up with that. I guess if you don't have any competitors, you don't have to have an election. Therefore, you get 0%. District 15, Libertarian 1%. 16, Libertarian 1%. District 17, Libertarian 1%. District 18, Libertarian 5%. District 19, Libertarian 2%. District 20, 1%. 21, 3%. 22, 2%. 23, 1%. 24, 1%. 25, 2%. 26, 2%. 27, 2%. 28, 2%. 29, no Republican. A Democrat and a Libertarian. The Libertarian garnished 6%. District 30, a Democrat and a Libertarian, no Republican candidate. The Libertarian garnished 7%. District 31, Libertarian 3%. District 32, Libertarian 2%. Well, okay, I said it's a start. Maybe I'm more depressed now after having read that. I'm not sure. Even in the races where there's only a Libertarian and a Republican, we still did pretty pissy. Yes. Meanwhile, on the Air America radio website, Al Franken, my buddy, we'll be getting him. George W. Bush won re-election by more than 3 million votes. I'm glad you noticed. A substantial improvement from his 500,000 vote deficit in 2000. Yes, well, Kerry still, as you mentioned, made his concession speech. Concession speech. Excuse me, you lost. Get over it, stop whining, you lost. Why can't the Democrats grasp the fact that they lost? I mean, why is this so hard? I have to read this again. If you listen, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this is too good. Evan Thomas of Newsweek, in the special post-election edition of Newsweek, wrote, quote, look, I'm a poet and didn't know it, Evan Thomas wrote, yes, I keep forgetting I'm pissed off. I'm supposed to be serious. I'm not really pissed off. I'm just, I'm not even pissed off. I just hate liberals, and they're so whiny, and it's so much fun insulting them. I'd be glad in, 4 weeks from now or so, nobody even remember who John Kerry was, much less care about him, and then I won't have to talk about him anymore. But until then, I'm going to continue to make fun of Kerry and the Kerry campaign and the Democrats Party. Well, I'm always going to make fun of Democrats. I can't get away from that. Anyway, Evan Thomas of Newsweek wrote, and I quote, "The Kerry campaign was even worse run than you think. Kerry was a bad manager. He could never make up his mind. He would dither, and he'd second-guess every decision. They had to take away his cell phone twice because every time they made a decision, he'd get on his cell phone and start calling 100 of his closest friends. So he's the biggest problem, but he was also not well served. He was a themeless pudding. They never really had a theme." Unquote. This is the man who should be President of the United States, according to 48% of the idiots who voted. Kerry was a bad manager. He could never make up his mind. He was a themeless pudding. A themeless pudding. I mean, imagine a themeless pudding. I'm sorry, but that is just too good. Yeah, I had to read it again. I'm sorry. It was just too wonderful. Let's move on to the next. What's next here? Oh, this is hilarious. Richard Cohen, columnist for the Washington Post, wrote a column Thursday, November the 4th. If you set out to create I'm quoting. If you set out to create the perfect Democratic presidential candidate, you would probably choose someone from the South or the border states, since John Kerry lost virtually the entire region on Tuesday, and someone who is comfortable talking the language of religion and values, since John Kerry was not, and someone whose wife is identified with conventional values, and last, someone who took a very early position against the war in Iraq, which John Kerry did not. See, now they admit it. Oh, John Kerry did not take an early... All the time. I have never changed my position against the war in Iraq. Now even the liberal Democrats are admitting that, why, yes, he did change his position. Anyway, let me continue quoting. Such a person... I can't talk. Such a person already exists, and as luck would have it, has a name. Al Gore. Here you go, folks. This is the Democrat solution to bring back Al Gore. Now, I don't even know. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about this. Al Gore got his butt kicked once. And, this just shows all the liberals can do is try to figure out how to be even more liberal than they were before. I'm telling you, man, 2008, it's going to be Hillary Clinton and bin Laden, Osama bin Laden for VP. I don't know how they can go any more left-wing than that. That's too good. We gotta set that aside. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh my goodness. Oh, this is silly. Yes. Yep. Oh yes. Yes. Oh yes. Okay. Yes, this is sad and pathetic, but not sad and pathetic enough to read. Oh my God. And they're still... Yes. Election 2004. America elects loser of presidential debates. I'm sorry, that's what I was chuckling at. I hate to break it to you, but I only watched 2 debates, and Bush didn't really lose. Kerry wasn't that great. Anyone who thinks that these debates were, first of all, interesting, or second of all, showed sort of stunning charisma from either of these people is obviously an idiot. In my opinion, Bush won the 2 I saw, and not that that's anything to be particularly proud of. Bush came across as an actual human being. John Kerry came across as a politician. This majorityreportradio.com. These are some idiots who broadcast on the on the, what do you call that idiot? Al Franken, thank you. On Al Franken's Air America. This is hilarious. Do. Yes. This is oh, that's funny. Yes. Alright, I want to read some of their blog to you here. The what? I gotta find the date on this. I gotta find the date. What day was this? Oh, November the 4th. Okay, this is posted November the 4th at 11:40 a.m. The Rethugs eked out, suppressing enough votes, a win in the latest battle. But their Pyrrhic victory is no mandate and will only awaken even more Americans to the Republican vision of a country ruled by the American Taliban. And you guys forgot to capitalize American, but it's okay, you're liberals. This is good too. Some are touting Bush's largest vote total in years. That's attributable. I can't say that word. Oh my god! All right, I'm not even pissed off anymore. I'm just having too much fun. That's attributable. Stop it! Mom, Randy's making fun of me. To see if I was a Democrat, I would be crying right now. That's attributable. Alright. Alright, this is bad. That's attributable to population growth. I'm not even going to try anymore. To population growth. John Kerry has the second largest vote total in years and Al Gore the third. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They both lost. Why can't you people grasp this stuff? It's just too hilarious. Do. The whining. Let me go back in time here. We need to go back pre-election. Oh, this is funny because I want to read some of these great comments to you. Now this is Monday. This is on Monday. This is what they were writing. Just hours left of the illegitimate Bush nightmare. Join us for our live coverage as we welcome President John Forbes Kerry. John Forbes Kerry. Oh my God. At 8:23 p.m. they posted, "Only a few more hours till this long national nightmare is over. Can you taste the victory yet?" November the 2nd at 10:50 p.m. "Keep the faith. Protect the vote. Fight, fight, fight." This is so good. Oh my God. Oh, this is so good. November the 3rd at 1:59 a.m. "It's not over. CNN has officially projected Ohio green. They say it's too close to call. Developing." And that's what it says. They say it's too close to call. Period. Developing. Developing what? They're saying the same thing about Iowa because of technical problems counting the votes. Update. John Edwards, 2:30 a.m., 11/3/04. "We will fight for every vote. You deserve no less." 11:10 a.m. "White House says Kerry has conceded. I'll believe it when I hear it from Kerry." Update. Confirmed. Kerry to speak at 1 p.m. Bush at 3. What is clear is that the much hoped for and expected turnout of over 118 million people never materialized. why was it much hoped for? So you could get your asses kicked by even more people? It's can you taste the victory? Can you smell the glove? Meanwhile, we have this. Published on Friday, October 22nd. What? No, wait. This is... okay, yes, this is before the election, but still. This was linked to prove the stupidity of George Bush voters. And, don't let me sound like I'm saying people who voted for George Bush are smart, because I'm not. But compared to people who voted for John Kerry, people who voted for George Bush are brain surgeons. 3 of 4 Bush supporters still believe in Iraqi WMD Al-Qaeda ties. Well, 3 out of 4 Kerry supporters actually believe that there's a constitutional right to get an abortion, even though the word abortion is not in the Constitution. 3 out of 4 Bush supporters believe that the Second Amendment, the Ninth Amendment, and the 10th Amendment don't even really exist. And even if they do exist, the Constitution is a living document, and you can just pretend that they mean whatever you want them to mean. So, for these people to be insulting people who voted for George Bush because they're stupid, I mean, talking about the pot calling the kettle. The text of John Kerry's concession speech, you know what? I'm trying to think if there's anything in here that I even give a flying shit about. I mean, the man, he got up there, he whined, he credited little people who sent him pennies and stuff out of their piggy banks, and he said, in America, it is vital that every vote count, and every vote must be counted, blah, 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 but the outcome should be decided by voters, not a protracted legal process. Oh, here we go. I would not give up this fight if there was a chance that we would prevail. Well... There's no chance of you prevailing because you're an idiot. I know. Yeah, Randy's backing me up on that. Yes, Randy, but you're a Republican, okay? Yes. Yeah, well, you are hardly an objective observer on this. Text of President Bush's victory speech. I did hear the Kerry defeat speech. I did not hear the Bush victory speech, and as I'm glancing over it, I see absolutely nothing here that I care about. Yes, we would like to thank the people who got me elected, and I intend to implement a more fascist version of the Patriot Act, the same Patriot Act that my opponent, John Forbes Kerry, said, I support the Patriot Act, I would just apply it differently. However the hell you apply the Patriot Act differently, I don't know. I'm still waiting for an answer on that one. Yeah, yes, 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 yeah. Okay, I apologize for that. Randy was talking, and I was trying to avoid, a lot of more dead air. Yes, yeah. Yeah, and yes, okay. And now as I'm glancing over this particular website, yes, is there anything here that I care about? No, this is some idiot whining. We can get away from that. Yeah. Oh yes, the Al Franken show. I've got to set that aside. Absolutely. Okay, yes, just a couple more things to read here from the internet before we get to the Franken show. This is from, where is this from? Reuters.com. Election will prompt democratic soul searching by Alan Elsner. I actually quoted some of this in the previous post-election commentary, but I want to read the beginning couple of paragraphs. Democrats are likely to enter a period of intense soul-searching and internal struggles after the 2004 election defeats. For those of you who voted Democrat, the word defeat means lose. After their 2004 election defeats, as they ask themselves how they regain the confidence of the American majority, political analysis said on Wednesday. It will not be an easy task. Defeated in the presidential election, the party that dominated U.S. politics from the 1930s until the 1990s also lost ground in both chambers of Congress, and the Republicans retained control of most of the state governorships. Quote, I think this is a realigning election. The Democrats are going to have to get used to a permanent minority status for a generation or two, said Tom Schallinger, a political scientist at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. You know he's at a university in Maryland. He's got to be a liberal. Quote, the party doesn't know what it stands for anymore. The Republicans have built majorities around their ideas, which can be boiled down to a few simple statements. The Democrats fish around for issues where they think there already are majorities. Now that is a fascinating quote. I have to agree with this. I think this is absolutely true. The Republicans, let me read this again. The Republicans have built majorities around their ideas, which can be boiled down to a few simple statements. The Democrats fish around for issues where they think there are already majorities. And it's totally true. I mean, Democrats, well, let's see, what do the feminists like? Abortion. All right, so we're in favor of abortion. You know, what do the peaceniks like? Well, they like anti-war, so we're going to be anti-war. And this is exactly how the Democrats go about getting elected. And then when they don't get elected, they sit around, they act surprised. And this is why people, including myself, I mean, if you ask me, does the average conservative Republican believe the crap that comes out of their mouth? I'll say, most of the time. Most of it. I mean, they're hypocrites like anybody else, of course. But most of the time, they believe the crap they're saying. But if you ask me, does the average Democrat believe the crap that they're saying? I'll tell you no. They are disingenuous. They're lying. I don't believe for a minute that the stuff coming out of their mouths is something they believe. I mean, look at John Kerry. Look at the debates. You know, I mean, George Bush at least projected sincerity. John Kerry projected, I am a politician saying whatever I need to say in order to get elected. That's why people don't trust these idiots. That's beautiful. The Democrats fish around for issues where they think there already are majorities. It doesn't get any better than that. The New York Post has a column here. I did not know. It's an editorial from the editors. I was looking for the author. It is the editors of the New York Post. Let me read some of this. John Kerry's Biggest Guns, November the 4th, 2004. Yes. Dan Rather was at his best as the election returns unfolded Tuesday night, defending CBS's refusal to call Ohio for President Bush when NBC and Fox already had. Rather declared, "We'd rather be last than be wrong," with a straight face. Considering that he and CBS, in airing a transparently partisan hit on Bush based on forged documents, had established a new low in media bias, that took nerve. Or maybe he thought nobody would notice, which would mean that Rather's as much a moron as he is a hypocrite. And considering that CBS deferred to its reporting partner, the New York Times, so that the paper could rush into print a last-minute exposé on missing explosives in Iraq that turned out to be a prime example of overhyped journalism, in pushing to be first, not last, the team knowingly provided John Kerry with a hot-button campaign issue. But the obstacles Bush overcame en route to his stunning electoral mandate, well, I don't know about stunning electoral mandate, but it was an electoral mandate, depending how you define mandate. But the obstacles Bush overcame en route to his stunning electoral mandate weren't erected slowly by CBS and the Times. Back in July, Newsweek assistant managing editor Evan Thomas declared flatly that, quote, "The media, I think, wants Kerry to win, and I think they're going to portray Kerry and Edwards as being young and dynamic and optimistic, and there's going to be this glow about them." I mean, it's all this whining in the media. It's almost. It is. It's pathetic. It's sickening. It's clear the media wanted what were they named? Kerry. See, he's already fading from memory. It's clear that they wanted Kerry to win. Yeah. Yes. Of course. Yeah. And I'm not. Now let me read this. See, I'm not the only person who's figured it out. I read again from the editor's editorial. During October alone, Kerry coverage on the network news shows Rather, Brokaw, and Jennings ran 77% positive. Bush's coverage, meanwhile, ran just 34% positive. Throughout the entire campaign, a full 64%, 2 out of 3, duh. See, even the elitist, even though the people at the New York Post are quote-unquote conservative, they're still elitist also. Throughout the entire campaign, a full 64%, that's 2 out of 3 for you stupid people, of network stories on the president were negative. Americans weren't blind to this blatant bias. The Pew Research Center for the People and the Press's survey found that fully 50% of voters believe most reporters wanted Kerry to win. Duh. That's because 50% of the voters are not completely stupid. When you're stumping for somebody as hard as the media was stumping for this guy, it's pretty damned obvious. Oh my God. Alright. I was about to get to the Franken show, but this is too good. I'm going to have to listen to these idiots whenever they come on. The Majority Report on Air America. Here is some. I'm hitting their blog site. Oh, there is some funny stuff. Was this election stolen? Let's find out. Let the world know we're sorry. It wasn't our fault. Oh my God. Okay, let me scroll up. Let me hit a few more of these. Where'd it go? I've lost it. Let the world know we're sorry. It wasn't our fault. The rallying cry of the emerging honest vote movement must become, get corporations out of our vote. It's, oh my God. Where's the good one? I'm and of course they're whining about Yeah, we're seeing a wide array of problems, some of which appear in multiple states. This page allows you to see how widespread the problems are as they accumulate. Talking about voting problems. See, I mean, they're still clinging to this desperate belief that the reason they lost is because of voter fraud. It honestly does not occur to these people that they might not be in the majority. I mean, what? See, again, this is why I can't help but side with the right over the left when it comes down to it. These people are completely delusional. Here, I found it. Listen to this. Leonard Ingram, anger management counselor, on how to deal with Tuesday. How you deal with Tuesday? You lost? Get over it. Unreal. Absolutely. Just unreal to me. Okay. I'm not looking at the internet anymore. I'm taking a nice big swig of water. Another big refreshing swig of pure water from the tap with the evil chlorine in it. Remember back in the days when the evil right-wingers, I just thought of this. Remember back in the days when the evil right-wingers tried to tell us that they were putting fluoride in the water supply as part of a communist plot to kill off Americans? And of course the liberal Democrats were all saying, you're insane. Have you noticed that now, at least here in Fort Collins, now the liberals are running around saying that the fluoride in the water is part of an evil Republican plot to kill off black people and poor people and other minorities who can't afford to buy bottled water. You know, It's like, let's recycle. The left and the right, they just sit around and recycle each other's wacko ideas. Okay. The Al Franken Show. So I listened to the Al Franken Show. When did I listen to Al Franken? Friday. Which would have been the 5th? Yes, the 5th. Friday, November the 5th. I listened to the Al Franken Show. I subjected myself to 2 hours of his incredibly boring, non-talented crap because I wanted to hear what his excuse was, what his explanation was. I knew he would have an explanation, he would have an excuse, as to why the Democrats got their asses kicked. And I heard some hilarious things on the Franken Show, and I just want to run down this little list. At one point, Franken accused Bush and the Republicans of, quote, squashing a report on global warming. This report is supposed to be proving that global warming is happening, and the Republicans are squashing it. Now, this is what he said, quote, they are trying to keep scientific information and recommendations out of the report. Now, my question is this. I'm assuming that this report is being done by some scientist. And if so, how can George Bush squash what these scientists are going to write in their report? Yeah, I mean, what is the connection here? If I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you right now. Nobody's squashing what I'm saying. How are these? Franken never explained. See, this is what gets me. Franken never said who was creating this report, where it was being created, where the funding was coming from, when it was going to be released or has been released. He never explained to us the exact dynamics of how the Republicans are able to squash this report. They're squashing the report. And this is... Yeah, Randy, now don't pretend the Republicans don't do the same thing. Leaving out vital information. But, oh, God. Al Franken has finally figured out what I told all of you on this show already. I don't remember when I said this, but I know I said this on one of these recordings. Oh! And by the way, see, I keep forgetting to mention the email address. Remember, send your commentary, your hate mail, your praise, your marriage proposals to Randy, of course, not to me. I don't believe in marriage. Not being a conservative Republican, I think marriage is evil. I do not think marriage is a sacred and wonderful institution on which our society is founded. That's a load of horse shit. Just no. Tell you, our society was founded on getting on boats, coming across the ocean, killing Indians, and taking their land away from them. That's what the American society was founded on. By God, marriage had nothing to do with it. Yes. Anyway, remember to send your hate mail and your praise to sto@204eastsouth.com. Now, where I was. This is what I said long ago, and Al Franken figured this out. Al Franken said that the purple states tended to, and this is what he said, voted progressive locally. In other words, what he means by this is that, as I said, a lot of states tend to vote Republican when it comes to the federal government. They tend to vote Democrat when it comes to local government. I've known this for years. Al Franken just figured it out. This is why Al Franken is so far behind the curve that for you to listen to him is a complete waste of your time. You know what? I'm serious. You're better off listening to Rush Limbaugh, even if you don't agree with anything he says, than you are listening to Al Franken. Because here's the thing. If you're a liberal Democrat and you listen to Rush Limbaugh, you will at least understand what your opposition is saying and why they're saying it. And you'll be able to make, it'll first of all empower you to argue with Republicans, and it'll also give you something to make fun of. If you're a Democrat and you're listening to Al Franken, and you're either A, entertained, or B, learning anything you didn't already know, then you've got to be an idiot to start with. This was good. Oh, yes. Al Franken launched off into this lamenting of the homeless and the hungry, and he was sure to point out how the evil Reagan didn't take care of these people. But you know, this is another thing I'm sick of from Democrats, is all this whining about the homeless and the hungry, how the government isn't doing something to take care of them. You know what? All you fucking rich Democrats out there, like John Kerry. John Kerry, 4 mansions, a yacht, a jet aircraft. You know what? If John Kerry gives a fuck about some homeless person, why doesn't he let some people stay in one of his mansions? He can't possibly be in all 4 of them at once. If John Kerry, or Al Franken for that matter, gives a fuck about people who are hungry, buy him some goddamn food. There is nothing stopping Al Franken from going to the grocery store, buying some food, and then taking it out and giving it to some homeless people. But why must the government do all of this? I'll tell you why the government must do all of this. Because liberalism is based on taking things, specifically money, away from people who have earned it and giving it to people who haven't earned it. It's based on redistribution of wealth. It's based on socialism. And this is why I hate Democrats even more than I hate Republicans. Yeah, well, except for you, Randy. I love you. Yes, you are adorable. Even if you did vote for Bush. I know. See, and I shouldn't like you. But you're so cute. And competent. Well, alright, you're competent and cute. You can be competent first, cute second. Oh, you want to be cute and competent. She wants to be cute and competent equally. Okay, well, okay, we'll give you that. Here's another little tidbit from the Al Franken show. Now, according to Al Franken, he was talking about stem cell research, and he said that the state of California is going to spend... He did, I think he said, I did not write this down. He said that the state of California is going to spend more than the federal government on stem cell research. And it seems, I could be wrong, I believe he said that they were going to spend 3 times as much on stem cell research on the federal government. Now the exact number doesn't matter. Here is what matters. This is good, because I've read the Constitution, and the Constitution doesn't say anything about empowering the federal government to spend money on stem cell research. The government should be spending nothing on stem cell research. I'm completely in favor of the states spending money on stem cell research. Again, maybe it's the libertarian in me. Maybe it's the concept that the federal government should not be doing things it's not constitutionally empowered to do. To Al Franken, this is a problem. This is what makes me want to smack somebody upside the head. To Al Franken, this is a problem. To me, this is wonderful. It's great. The states should be doing things like this. The states can be empowered to do things like this. Yes. And Al spent an amazing amount of time looking for voting fraud. I just read it to you on the websites. I mean, these people are still looking for voter fraud to explain why they lost. They are still clueless. It's not a surprise. They made some interesting points here. He was talking to some idiot who called in, because that's the thing. Franken can't handle the show on his own. He has to have guests, and he has to have somebody to help him talk. They had some guest who called in and was pointing out that Clinton, a Democrat, won, he won 2 presidential terms. And as this guest says, Bill Clinton won, but he was pro-NAFTA. Yeah. Bill Clinton, and see, this is the thing. Clinton was, in many ways, fairly conservative, especially compared to Al Gore and John Kerry. And these people in the Franken show are sitting here going, well, Clinton won 2 terms, and why, he was somewhat conservative. They're clueless. They're completely clueless. They don't grasp that the reason Al Gore and John Kerry lost is because both of these men are liberal elitist. And on the subject of elitist, yeah, again, they blamed this on, Al Franken attempted to blame the loss on John Kerry's personality, because his personality was that of an elitist, and George Bush was just the good old boy. And if John Kerry had a better personality, you know what? I've said this before. Kerry is an elitist. Didn't I just say like 10 minutes ago that John Kerry is an elitist, a rich white boy who went to Yale with 4 mansions, a private jet aircraft, and a private yacht? This is what Al Franken said about Kerry. Quote, "He is a Brahmin. He has that bearing." Unquote. You know, and this is why he lost. This is America. We're not supposed to have royalty. We're not supposed to have a Brahmin class. And everybody can look at Kerry and see. It's obvious that Kerry thinks he's better than you are. He thinks he's better than I am. He thinks he's better than everybody is. That's what being an elitist is. Now, George Bush, he probably thinks he's better than other people. I don't know. But the thing is, George Bush is at least good enough to play the part of a good old boy. Kerry has no clue. Kerry cannot hide the fact that he is an elitist who thinks he's better than you are. Another great quote from Franken. Quote, "People who voted for Bush didn't understand certain things." Unquote. And here it is again. They were referring to people who voted for Bush didn't understand that Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction. People who voted for Bush didn't understand that that Saddam Hussein was not behind the 9/11 attacks. People who voted for Bush because they are stupid. Let me point out to you, people out there that I call stupid all the time, because you're stupid because you voted for Kush or for Kush. Kush! I see! We can just merge both the candidates into one person. Kerry and Bush. We'll call it Kush. That's a new word. We're using that. We are using that. It's like Republicrat, Kush. From now on, whenever I'm talking about people who vote... See, normally I say you Kerry voters or you Bush voters, but when I'm talking about people who voted for Kerry or Bush, our new word is Kush. See, you Kush voters, I'm not the only person calling you stupid. Al Franken is calling you stupid too. There it is. You know, the people who voted for Bush, they didn't understand certain things. They were stupid. Those of you who voted for Nader, you're stupid also, because you didn't vote for Kerry. Essentially, if you did not vote for Kerry, you're stupid. And the left thinks, the left honestly thinks this is how they get your vote, by telling you you're stupid. Why, you would have voted for John Kerry if you just weren't so stupid. See, the Republicans, this is why Republicans get votes, because they have a better approach. They don't call people stupid. No, they call people immoral. Yeah. Right. How dare you homosexuals want to get married, like you're real people or something. You are immoral, living in a bed of sin, while you're going to burn in hell. But they don't call you stupid, they just call you immoral. And you know, is that a bad thing? Because when somebody calls you immoral, that just means you don't share their moral values, right? And so is not sharing the moral values of the conservative right, is that a bad thing? Exactly, yeah. I mean, depending on who you are. I mean, for a conservative Christian to tell me that I'm immoral, I take that as a compliment. But the Democrats spend their time telling the people they want. I mean, they want these people to vote for them, and so they say to these people, "You're stupid. If you weren't so stupid, you would have voted for us." Well, that'll make you popular. Oh yeah, that's the way to win friends. I'm gonna try, I think I'll try that. I'm gonna walk up to people and go, "You know what? If you're not friends with me, you're an idiot. You are totally stupid if you're not my friend." I bet that will win me a whole lot of friends. This is why I am so brilliant. Yes. Where else will you get honest intellectual analysis like that little point right there? I bet you haven't heard that from anyone else, just from me. This is beautiful. This is great. Franken quote, "All these value issues are misplaced class rage." Now, what we were talking about here was that Republicans vote on value issues, and it was declared on the Franken show, and I attributed that to Franken himself. Al Franken did not say that. One of his guests said that. See, you will notice that when I make a mistake, like mispronouncing the word mistake right there, you will notice that when I make a mistake, I correct myself, and take the responsibility for my mistake, unlike Republicans and unlike people who voted for Kush. Again, this is why I am better than you, and this is why I am allowed to call you stupid, because I don't want your vote. Al Franken does want your vote. He's going to call you stupid anyway. They're blaming the conservatives who vote on value issues. They're saying that this is simply misplaced class rage. Now, which of the political parties is into class warfare? Which of the political parties is all about taxing the rich? Which of the political parties is all about hatred for rich people? Which of the political parties is always running around, just finished running around, and is still running around telling black people that their votes aren't being counted because they're black? I'm pretty sure it's the Democrats. Now, I'm not saying for a moment that the Republicans don't play the race card sometimes, and I'm not saying for a moment they don't. I'm not saying that. But which party is the most likely to engage in class warfare? Which party uses class warfare the most often, right out there in the open? It's the Democrats. Franken and his guests were discussing what the Democrats should do in order to not lose the next election. As I've already said, they should run the Hillary Clinton, Osama bin Laden ticket. But these are two little quotes from what the idiot guest said about how the Democrats should avoid losing the next election. He said that, quote, "Don't move to the right," unquote. And he said, quote, "That's what they always do after they lose." Yeah, of course. Al Gore was incredibly liberal, much more liberal than Bill Clinton, and he lost. And so they moved to the right. They got John Kerry, a liberal elitist, who is married to a rich woman and has 4 mansions and a private yacht and a private jet aircraft. Yeah, I would definitely call that moving to the right. Well, maybe it is, but because remember, John Kerry did say, "I support the Patriot Act, only I would apply it differently." Sounds like the true words of a potential right-wing fascist to me. And when you look at that, I am finished, and by golly, there's the music. Did I time that perfectly, or what? Actually, I didn't time that. It was pure chance. I am so good. That's how good I am. Alright, the next one, there are no more post-election after this. I am sick of talking about the election. We're not going to talk about the election. We're not going to talk about the fact that Democrats... Well, we're going to talk about Democrats losing. But there's not going to be that much more election-specific stuff because I am sick of the election. So everybody come back again. Remember, STO@204eastsouth.com. Send me your email. I relish it. Send me your agreements. Those are pretty cool too.